Alright, so this is day 3, not in a row, but just the third day that I'm making a recording. So, I wanted to make a marble maze game. That's my initial idea. Still developing concept and ideas and thoughts around that. What's the gameplay loop? What's the story? How does this thing work? How do I want to make this into, like, what's my concept, what I'm trying to communicate? I'm still working on all that stuff, and I'm probably going to work on it for another 4 or 5 months. But because I know marble maze as the form that I want this to take, basically you move a ball on a platform and there's obstacles you have to overcome and get the ball to a goal. That's the loop. Different levels have different obstacles that need to be overcome. There's different power-ups, different things you can get to make that let you overcome levels further and further down and unlock secrets in earlier levels. That's like the whole idea anyways about gameplay loop, because I've figured that out, because I know that that is the direction I want to go. In the same way, if I knew I wanted to do a Metroidvania or a first-person shooter or an ARPG, I would know what the form of that looks like. And I think it's very important that I start with something recognizable, because understanding that lets me know what I need to learn in Godot to make that work. If it was a 2D platformer, I would have to learn 2D, how to make a platformer, and then make a character controllable and make them jump, and then be able to adjust those jump variables, because that's the basic requirements for that game system. For me, it's I need to make a platform that a ball can then interact with and roll on. I have no clue how to do that. Some kind of physics engine and some meshes and a rigid body. I know that much. But figuring out how to make it so you have a platform you can control and a ball hits it and it rolls and it looks convincing and feels good when you play it, that's like game development. Those are future me problems. Right now, I'm just happy that I've been able to do something super simple, and that is just make a ball hit a cylinder and the cylinder rotate. Why does that excite me? Why is that cool for me? Well, for one, I wasn't using anybody else's code. I wasn't looking at a tutorial. I just went in and did a thing based on what I had learned. And it's the first time I've been able to do that in this program. So that's one big milestone. I wasn't relying on a third-party instruction to get me to this point. That's always a big breakthrough anytime I'm learning how to do something, because it shows that I'm starting to internalize the information and I'm able to retrieve it and then utilize it. Without that pipeline, there's no point in learning, because you're just, well, there's a point in it, but without that pipeline, there's no execution in the knowledge. And so being able to do that is promising, because if I can do that with this, then I'm one step closer to making the level prototype, just like level 1 or basic level, even just anything in Godot. So it's exciting, because now I have 2 rigid bodies. One is locked in place, the other is falling. Next, if I can get it so that the one that's locked in place doesn't spin, but instead can be controlled to spin in a certain way so that when the ball hits it, it rolls, I've pretty much solved the game, right? And then if I can do that, then I need to make it so that I can adjust the variables that control how the ball moves and how the platform moves when you try to rotate it, so that it feels like there's good resistance and the rolling feels reactive. That's like the next step. And then at that point, then it's like, now build the level, make the thing work on a level, and make there be a start and an end. And if I can do that, then I have the basis for level 1. Then it's make it a full thing, graphics and lights and shadows and sounds and start, end screen, all the stuff. So I'm pretty pumped about that. Godot's boring as shit to learn how to do all this stuff. Every time I sit down to do a tutorial or to figure this stuff out, it's like pulling teeth. I don't really look forward to it. But I know that's just because I don't know anything, so it's this huge mountain of unknown that I have to hack at and try to come to terms with. One of the things I learned about when I was trying to learn Blender is having a hyper-focused direction to chip away at is really the only way to get it done. So that means setting a goal, like building a ball that rolls on a platform that you can control, making a 2D animatic, or just a scene in Blender that does X, Y, or Z, and then being able to execute that without a tutorial, following along with the tutorial. those kind of milestones really make me want to continue with the projects and give me the excitement to continue with the project, continue learning how to do something. Because if I don't have those kind of moments in a regular interval, or know that they're going to be coming, then the frustration of working with something can overpower my desire to utilize it, or to even work on a project. At that point, if I've lost interest, getting me back into it takes a paycheck. It takes like an end goal or an end external force to push me through. Whereas if I'm able to get those kind of like aha moments and like continually solving problems and getting that reinforcement that like I am learning, I am moving forward with something, then I can get to the end of a project, or at least to a point where I will button up and work through and finish a project if there isn't that external motivation. That's just something I've learned at being a studio artist. I start so many things that just kind of get halfway through and I lose interest, and I might come back to them in a year or two when my interest picks back up. But there's a long period in between where I have interest in something and then I can return interest into it to actually spend the time and focus on it without somebody like, I want to buy that. And I'm like, oh, well, let me finish it up for you real quick. Or like, I need to show this somewhere. So this moment's big. It's, like I said, it's a good milestone. It's the first. I'm going to keep chipping away at this each night and day and try to just spend a little bit of time on it until I can get it into different states. And then I'll do these so I can track where those states go and where I'm at. That's exciting.